So Kyle, we are
Yes.
here to discuss Nintendo's next console, which I assume both of us expect is going to be at the very least revealed this year.
It better be, because I want a new Switch.
Me too. It's been, God, I can't believe how long it's been since Switch 1. It's been like, what, is it 7 years now?
I think it's 7 years.
That's
it's insane. Like, it feels like yesterday, but to be fair, I'm also like an adult, and I was an adult when it came out. So it just blew by like nothing.
Yeah, it also, we had like half of its lifespan like post-COVID, which that period of time, I think for everyone kind of went quick. So maybe that's why it kind of feels a bit quick, but no, yeah, we have hopefully a new Switch coming. So let's actually just first start off. When do we expect to first see this? The first initial announcement from Nintendo. What are
August
you
is the first thing. I think August is the first thing that I'm thinking of, because I think of like when E3 happened, when the 3DS XL first got revealed. For some reason, it was revealed in August or July or something, and it wasn't shown off at E3, and people were like, "Why is it not shown off at E3?" So I have a feeling the same thing's gonna happen.
I think we're when do you think it's coming out then, if you think it's being revealed in August?
I want to say like October, November.
You think it's going to be like a 2-month turnaround?
Maybe. Because like when did no, I'm thinking the Switch got revealed in what, October, right? And then released in March.
Yes.
Because there's so much stuff coming out this summer already for the Switch. I think it's like Paper Mario, and I don't know what else is coming out during the summer, because I know they have like the next 6 months lined up for content already coming out.
That's fair.
So I don't think anything's coming out earlier than that.
I'm on a much different like mindscape when I think they're going to be revealing it. I think we're going to see this before the end of March, to be honest.
Ooh.
And I have a reason why. I think Nintendo's physical financial year ends at the end of March. And typically they like to do some kind of big announcement right before then, especially when it is like a console launch. So like with the Switch, they officially like confirmed during their financial report that the NX was going to be releasing in March. They announced that Breath of the Wild was delayed to the following year to come out with the console. So I kind of feel like even if it's not like an actual like reveal trailer or anything like that, I think we're gonna get like at least like some kind of tweet of Nintendo like officially confirming that there is a new console coming either this year or next year. I personally think the console is coming out this year. I would be baffled if it doesn't. But I feel like we're gonna get some kind of like small reveal in March. And then in June, we're going to get some kind of big showcase, very similar to what they did with the Switch presentation. And then just kind of have the build up to, I think an October release kind of sounds about right.
I think it's funny that you mentioned the NX, because it was like publicly revealed as that. Because like we haven't heard any code names that I'm aware of for this new Switch. All we heard is that developers have kits. And like many years ago, like prepare for 4K, but like that's it. We haven't heard a single code name or anything.
I wonder if the code name could just be Switch 2. I wouldn't be surprised.
Right.
So,
or Switch Pro or whatever.
So if it does go the way that you're thinking with like an August reveal, what are you kind of expecting for that reveal? Are you expecting like some kind of direct, like being a giant reveal, or what are you thinking?
I think they're just gonna drop a trailer. I think it's just gonna be like, hey, new Nintendo system, just like they did with the Wii U. Not the Wii U, but they did with the Switch. Didn't they do that? Or am I misremembering?
They did do that, but then they had like a big presentation before the Switch actually released, like 2 months before.
Yeah, because I remember like it was a trailer, and then they're like, all right, wait until like December or January for like a big reveal, and then we saw arms.
Right, yeah.
And then after that, like, then we got the system. So I'm kind of expecting the same thing, where like I want to say like September or something like that, we might get like a full reveal on like what exactly the system's gonna be like, and then it comes out in like October or something, like it's just to generate hype. But I don't think it's gonna get as much of a push as the Switch did, like going on Jimmy Fallon and other stuff like that, because like going from the Wii U to the Switch, they had to really sell it on people, but Switch is just as successful as the Wii. So like it's in everybody's homes, so everybody has at least two at this point, and I think that they're hoping that it sells itself, unfortunately, like they thought that the Wii U was gonna do, but we'll see.
I mean, I think as long as Nintendo like proves that this new Switch is powerful enough to stand next to, it definitely won't be as powerful as something like the PS5 or the Series X. No, not a chance. I think best case scenario, it's as powerful as like a Steam Deck. And honestly, I think that's all we need.
Yeah, like the fact that, like, according to rumors that we heard, that it's gonna be able to handle the Unreal Engine 5 demo with the the Matrix, and then apparently can handle not Assassin's Creed, Final Fantasy 7 Intergrade. Like, yeah, I think it's gonna be as powerful as a Steam Deck, if not like slightly less powerful than an Xbox Series S from rumors that we heard, but. I had a customer in the game store that I work at mention, "Oh, I want a Nintendo system as powerful as a PS5. The Nintendo needs to think about the hardcore gamer." No, yeah, no, no, that's not how that works, buddy. But that's okay.
Yeah, gaming has definitely shifted quite a bit since the PS4 generation started. That it was kind of a bit of a power race, but now I feel like every console has their own market. PlayStation is that powerhouse console now. Xbox is kind of their cloud integrate, like their whole system with Game Pass and all of that. And then Switch is just, Nintendo games. You buy the console for the exclusives.
I find it ironic that it seems to be the least powerful system seems to be the most successful one. Like PS2 out of the three systems, the least powerful one, like graphically wise, like pushing visuals, like I guess GameCube apparently was more powerful than the PS2, but since it had the mini DVDs, it couldn't put out as much like content. Like it had to compress a lot of stuff. But yeah, the PS2 was the least powerful, and then the Wii came out. That was the least powerful, but that completely swamped the competition. And now we're in the Switch, which I don't know where the Switch and the Wii U fall in this generation, because is the Switch the refresh of the Wii U? Because I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what console generations make sense anymore. Like when it comes to Nintendo,
let's actually get into that before we talk about anything else. What do we expect out of the Switch 2? What changes do you expect to see Nintendo do to the Switch?
They better add music and themes, because this is my hot take. I love the Switch. Okay, probably the best library since the GameCube. Okay, and so innovative, but goddamn, the UI is so boring. I hate it. Like, I booted up either my Wii U or my 3DS, one of the two, the one day, and as soon as I got into the menu music, and like just in the main menu, a whole wave of nostalgia hit me, and I'm like, man, this console has so much personality. Like, I miss this. Like, I doubt we're gonna get Street Pass on the next Switch. That'd be nice. I miss that, but that's not gonna happen. But like, I want the thing to feel alive, because I remember just recently they had some leak about what the UI was supposed to look like for the Switch, and it looked a lot more lively and it looked more interesting, but people like the fact how snappy the Nintendo Switch is. But I miss the Nintendo personality. I miss the Nintendo charm, and it's not there for the Switch for me. The only thing that's going for the Switch is that click, the iconic click. That's it.
I think there definitely is a middle ground that Nintendo could totally find in giving us themes, giving us more personality on a Switch UI, while still keeping it snappy. Because I feel like even looking at like console mods for the Switch, seeing what people have done with custom themes, it's still like pretty snappy, but it looks so much better. It's a lot more interesting. So I think it definitely is something Nintendo could do. They just didn't for the base Switch.
I can understand if it was like, if it was either the flash memory that was being used, or the type of RAM that were being used that wasn't fast enough to handle all of that. But we're in a point now where like solid state is super cheap now, and getting faster memory should be cheaper as well. So we should have the ability to have this type of UI where it seems more colorful and lively. Because when you think of like iconic stuff when it comes to like the Wii or whatever, like you think of Wii Sports, the Mii Maker, and the shop channel, and the first thing you think of is the music of all three of those.
Yep.
Like, I want something iconic for the new Switch.
One thing that I have been thinking about for the new Switch that I think is going to have to get some kind of visual change is the Joy-Cons. I don't think the Joy-Con idea is going away at all, but definitely people don't like the Joy-Cons, for sure.
No. No.
They are kind of uncomfortable to hold. And obviously stick drift is an issue that should have been fixed a long time ago. So I'm just going to hope that stick drift gets changed. I don't think that's going to be a feature that Nintendo advertises at all because they want to pretend it doesn't even exist.
Right.
But I think that will be fixed. That'll just be something that we'll find out day one of the console release. Is it better? Honestly, we won't even find out till day one. We'll have to wait like a year to see if it's better.
I wonder, will we get Hall effect sticks?
What are those?
Oh, okay. So instead of like involving traction to like track where the analog stick is, it does magnets. The Dreamcast did this, and now I think there's a company called GuliKit, I think that's what it's called, where you can get replacement analog sticks for either your Joy-Cons, or now what they're trying to do is do it for the DualSense Edge, where you have those modular analog sticks. They're trying to create one so it is only Hall effect sticks, so it's all magnets, so it's less prone. It's not completely drift proof because there's still like rubber bands or whatever in there to like make it snap back, but still it's tracked by magnets, so there's less friction, therefore almost completely getting rid of the stick drift.
I could see Nintendo doing some kind of change like that. I'm about
to say, like, even I can see even... Actually, GuliKit even made a Pro Controller for the Switch with those kind of analog sticks in mind. The only thing that the thing doesn't have, I think, is like HD Rumble and the Amiibo thing. But I felt one of those controllers. It feels almost perfect. I love it.
I wonder if that's something that Nintendo would like save for their whatever their like new like Pro or Premium controller is going to be. I don't know. Is that... You said that they already did it for Joy-Cons, right?
Yep. You just replaced the analog stick itself.
Then I guess, yeah, I could see them doing something like that. That'd be cool.
Because Hall effect sticks haven't been brought home to a home console from the first party, like from the OEM, since the Dreamcast. So I would love for them to bring that back.
I think one of the biggest things that Nintendo will advertise with the change to the Joy-Con, I think they are going to bring back analog triggers, finally.
Ooh, that would be nice. I would like that.
Because they definitely... Originally, like, I thought about it as, like, it probably could have been, like, a design issue with the Switch at the time. But now, like, the Steam Deck has analog triggers. It's possible to do in a form factor like this. So, I don't see any reason why they won't. I think that is, like, the easiest thing that they could upgrade the Joy-Cons to. I think they will also get some kind of ergonomic redesign to be a bit more comfortable in the hand. But...
I would like that. But personally, I have my doubts.
Yeah, it's hard to say. But, I mean, I would like that. I guess I'm more talking on hopes than predictions on that.
Yeah.
But I think no matter what, they do need some kind of very distinct way to tell this is a Switch 1 Joy-Con, this is a Switch 2 Joy-Con. whether they have like some kind of like advertisement gimmick, something along the same lines of HD rumbles in this controller and then not in the other one, some kind of like gimmick that way that doesn't really matter at all in the long run, but it's what they push in the advertising. I'm expecting something like that, but I also do expect that Switch 1 Joy-Cons will also work on the Switch 2. There might just be whatever like this feature ends up being, it just might mean that those old Joy-Cons don't work on some new games.
I'm a little concerned about what's going to happen with the Joy-Cons, because I remember there was a rumor recently saying how it's going to be an 8-inch screen, but we don't even know what that means. Is it going to be like even wider of a view, which I doubt? Or is it just going to be an overall bigger system, which I feel like that's going to be more likely, because when you dock it to the TV, it's not going to be the same aspect ratio as like our modern phones.
Right.
But yeah, because I know like YouTubers been like making that aspect ratio like a common thing. Personally, I don't like it all that much, but that's just me being a boomer.
It'd be weird to see them do that for a game console, though.
Exactly. So like, I wonder if it's just gonna be a bigger system and we're gonna have longer Joy-Cons. That is, if this 8-inch screen is real.
Considering it was reported by Bloomberg, I am willing to bet that it's real. I guess we'll see. I do think the console will be bigger though. Like, looking at like the Steam Deck is massive compared to the Switch.
Yeah.
I don't think it will be Steam Deck levels of big, but I think it will be approaching it.
Mm-hmm.
And then power-wise, we kind of already touched on this a bit, but I think if the console is Steam Deck levels of power, we are so fine. Every game that is coming out will be able to run on it. Baldur's Gate 3 runs on Steam Deck.
That's so insane.
I played like through all of Act 1 of Baldur's Gate on my Steam Deck. And it ran fine. So if they're able to get that kind of power out of the Switch 2, it doesn't really matter what third parties do. Third parties are still putting their big games on PS4. So I don't think power is that big of an issue.
Speaking of, imagine if we got Baldur's Gate 3 on this new Nintendo Switch. Which, speaking of names, what is this thing going to be called?
I think, God, I'm so sure it's not going to be Switch 2.
I guarantee it's not going to be Switch 2.
God, this is where Nintendo could ruin everything.
I doubt they're going with the new thing anymore. Unless I like the Super Switch a lot, but I don't think they're going with that either. I feel like they're gonna stick with the Switch branding.
Oh yeah, for sure. They have built so much of their identity on the Switch. Like their Switch Online, that's the literal name of their online service.
Exactly. 'Cause they dropped Nintendo Network for some reason.
Right. just out of no reason, but if they don't keep the same account system from Switch 1 to Switch 2, that is going to be a deal killer for a lot of people. And along that same lines, backwards compatibility needs to be in the system.
From what it looked like in like, I think it was shareholder meetings, they mentioned how they want to keep the Nintendo Switch Online like thing moving forward. So I'm pretty sure that'll be okay. But backwards compatibility, I know people were concerned about, but that like has to stay a thing.
Yeah, like I just don't see Nintendo restarting everyone's library again, because one of the worst things they could do is start from ground zero. Just wipe everything, start over, because that's just erasing everything they did this last generation and just throwing away their entire user base for no real reason. Besides, I guess some third parties want them to restart so they could resell their games for full price again.
I got a silly theory, which I doubt this is going to be a thing, but hear me out. So imagine they have something like a Pro Controller, okay, that's bundled with the system, but that controller itself splits in half and goes to the Switch instead of having Joy-Cons as
Ooh.
well as the Pro Controller later.
I'm like imagining like the PlayStation Portal kind of look.
Pretty much. That's kind of what I'm going for here. So like the only thing I'm worried about backwards compatibility wise is like, are we still gonna have the kickstand on the Switch? Are we still gonna be able to play stuff like 1-2 Switch, Super Mario Party, or is it gonna be like collective where we're gonna be able to play everything and everything's gonna play exactly fine, like going from GameCube to Wii?
I can see it being kind of like this weird thing for like those games like Super Mario Party, 1-2 Switch, that whatever changes they make to the Joy-Cons, I wouldn't be surprised if they remove that AR reader, because like what, 20 games on the entire Switch's library use it?
Surprisingly, the new WarioWare used it.
Yeah, and also Trombone Champ used it just out of nowhere.
That's right.
But I don't see that being something that Nintendo prioritizes bringing back, and I don't imagine that is a cheap thing for them to include. So I could see them removing that from the Joy-Con, but for the games that require it, I could see it being something that you can connect your old Joy-Cons, but that's the only way those games work. You can't use the new Joy-Cons on those games.
Yeah, I could see that.
The only games I think just will not be compatible at all, which technically they aren't even compatible with the Switch OLED, are the Labo games.
I love when I see the Kit and Krista podcast and they talk about how much they hated the Labos so much.
I just watched that episode a couple days ago.
I always wanted to try the VR one, but like I never got any of the Labo because I had no space on where to store them properly. So I didn't bother.
I bought the VR one out of curiosity, and I'm just in the trouble that I'm deciding, do I just want to throw all this away, because it's taking up a lot of room in my closet for something that I never use and will probably never use again. But those are the only games I can think of that Switch 2 probably can't work with. Everything else, there probably is going to be some kind of workaround.
Something I wonder, will Amiibo still be around for this next generation?
That's tough, because if they include the NFC reader, I think at the very least they will continue putting out like 1 or 2 Amiibo a year, kind of like how they have been in the last couple years.
Yeah.
But it is very clear that Amiibo are winding down. It's not something that Nintendo is prioritizing anymore. Whatever Amiibo they put out, really they only run through pre-orders and then they don't print them anymore. The Noah and Mio Amiibo came out a week ago, and they have been some of the most difficult Amiibos for people to get.
Funny enough, at my game store, we have still so many of them because we're not that popular of a store, apparently. I don't know. But we never run out of Pokemon cards like Target. We don't run out of Amiibos like any other brick and mortar store. So, like, if you need some personally, I got you.
But I don't know, it definitely does seem like, even at like the start of the Switch generation, if it wasn't for Smash, I think they would have stopped doing Amiibo.
I agree.
But I don't know. I could still see it being a thing that if you want to use Amiibo on old Switch games, connect your old Joy-Con that has an NFC reader, scan it in that way. But new stuff doesn't have it moving forward. I'd be more willing to bet that they're going to stop doing Amiibos entirely.
I think it's going to be really funny when this new generation of Nintendo Switch also supports GameCube controllers. Is the controller is never going to die?
No, yeah. Whatever they do the next Smash, it's for sure the GameCube adapter will work.
Yeah. I think it's crazy how, like, I think the GameCube adapter worked for the Switch, like, day one. Like, you can just use it in, like, Mario Kart or whatever you want to use it in.
Right, yeah.
So I expect the same thing's going to happen with this new Switch.
The next thing I kind of want to get into is a little bit of the games that we expect to see. And I kind of want to go, like, what my vision of the reveal is, because I do expect a couple big games to be teased in whatever this reveal trailer is going to be. Similar to how, like, Mario Odyssey was shown, Skyrim was shown. just for like a few seconds in the montage. The 2 third-party games I do fully expect. I do expect 3, but 2 of them have not been. One of them has been rumored. The other 2 have not. One of them I do expect to see Final Fantasy VII Remake, specifically Remake, not Rebirth.
Yes.
And then I think when they do a more full reveal after the console exclusivity has lifted, I think they're going to confirm that Remake and Rebirth are coming to Switch 2 day one.
Ooh.
In like a combo.
That'd be nice. I'd buy it again.
I would too. The other one, the next one is going to be Elden Ring. I think they're going to do something similar, that it's going to be bundled with whatever DLC they're doing. That I think it's supposed to come out this month. I don't think it's confirmed, but by the time the Switch 2 gets revealed, it will be out. So I think they're going to show off Elden Ring running on the Switch, and then they'll do like a Game of the Year release that has the DLC included, and that will also come to Switch 2.
I can see something similar happening to Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate was my third one that I think.
Yeah!
On it. And all 3 of those are going to be in the reveals. 2 of them are Game of the Year winners. That would be huge for the Switch, showing these massive games running on the console. I do also think we're going to get at least one first-party Switch 2 game teased. I am between 2 of them. One of them makes... Actually, I think there's going to be 2. I forgot. One of them, 100% they're going to show Mario Kart.
Oh, yeah.
The other one, it is either going to be their next 3D Mario game or Metroid Prime.
Like, at this point, they have to show Metroid Prime. I could see, like, Mario Kart being in the forefront because we need some type of Mario or Zelda being at launch, because we can't have another 3DS launch where it was Steel Diver, Pylon's Resort.
Right.
That was it for Nintendo, I think.
Yeah, it's tough. I think, what do you think is going to be like the big launch title that everyone buys the Switch 2 for?
Ugh.
What's going to be the Breath of the Wild of this console?
I don't know, because, like, I want to stick to my guns with Mario Kart, because judging from analytics, Mario Kart is always in the top 10 selling games, like, every week when it comes to, like, games in general. So I want to hope for a new Mario Kart. If not, be within the first 6 months or so, pretty much like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But the magnum opus of this new console, outside of Metroid Prime 4, I'm not sure what else could be coming out.
How I'm kind of envisioning it in my head, I think whatever their 3D Mario is going to be, that is 100% a launch title. And
I mean, it is holiday season, so it would make sense.
Yeah, it's been a long time since Odyssey. Odyssey was a year 1 game. All we got was the Luigi's Balloon update. Nothing else out of that team. I don't even know if they did like the Bowser's Fury update. I don't know if that was a different team or if it was the Odyssey team.
The only thing I can think of is like the Odyssey team, from what rumors have been saying, is that they're working on Donkey Kong. And even then, it's not even 3D. I think it's just a 2D Donkey Kong game, which is odd because retro is still a thing. And they're doing country.
We don't know if that rumor ever even was real. That could have been a completely fake rumor.
Right.
So, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe that game was real and it got scrapped for whatever reason. Maybe they realized that Switch 2 was coming and they needed to focus on this 3D Mario. But at the very least, I think 3D Mario is year 1, but I am fully, like, 100% expecting it to be a launch title.
Ooh.
But then, I think that means Mario Kart will not be a launch title. I think Mario Kart will be a big focus in their marketing, that Mario Kart is coming, but it won't come till 2025.
Ooh. We're repeating the Wii U, I see. That's going to be tough.
I think it will be, like, first half of 2025, like, maybe, like, April, May. So it won't be like a long wait.
Yeah, within the next 6 months, I could see that.
But I don't know. I do think Mario Kart makes so much sense for it to be a launch title, but that's also like still in my brain. That's also why it probably won't be a launch title, because it makes too much sense.
Part of me wonders how much are they going to repeat with the Switch history? Like, imagine if they launch with a 3D Mario, Metroid Prime, and then within the next 6 months we get Mario Kart. Imagine there's no mention of Smash, and there's so much speculation online of, is Smash finally done? When's the next Smash coming out? And is Sakurai going to work on it? Like, I can only imagine that being a rumor mill for the next year.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I don't know if this is a controversial prediction. I don't think we're going to be getting a new Smash. I think we're going to be getting like a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe type situation for Smash.
To be honest, I wouldn't be upset by that.
Because, and the only reason I think that right now is because they suddenly started doing Spirit updates for Ultimate.
Right. Imagine we just get a mega cartridge just of every Smash DLC all in one. And like you put it in your Switch and you just feel something happen throughout your whole Switch. You're like, oh, Super Ultimate Smash.
Because imagine if they just pick up where they left off with Ultimate and they get the roster up to 100 characters and they make that the advertising point, 100 characters in Smash Ultimate.
Ooh, what if they call it Ultimate Deluxe?
I don't know what they could call it, because they also have to work with the naming scheme of Special in Japan.
Ooh. A Special Deluxe?
I don't know.
It sounds like something at McDonald's. I like a super special deluxe mega Big Mac.
But that's kind of what I'm expecting with Smash. I feel like they're not ready to do something new with Smash, because whatever they do next is going to be a step back. No matter how
absolutely.
Even if they do like complete character reworks, they're going to have to cut the roster. I don't see every character coming back. There's just no way.
Yeah, I think even Sakurai said, yeah, there's no way this is happening again.
Right. So I don't know. I feel like if they could somehow do a new version of Ultimate and just continue adding onto it, I think most people would be more than happy with that, especially if that means Ultimate continues to get updates and they fix Steve.
Ooh. I can imagine that, like making have every character add a few more levels to it, like more stages, and then just announce, hey, there's a new wave of content coming. And first one up, Crash Bandicoot.
I think the only character that I fully think is happening at this point is Geno.
Yeah, that makes sense.
After RPG Remake, yeah, Geno's happening. There's no reason for him to not anymore.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't even know who to predict for Smash anymore, because I got all my dream characters. I don't have a dream character for Smash anymore.
The only characters I want are like Rayman and Crash. After that, I'm fine. Or if you really want to live up to the internet, Goku.
Oh yeah, that is actually Ultimate.
Yeah, dude, that would actually be insane. Because after that, where do you go?
Yeah, it's over. And they're working with Bandai Namco. They have connections with Dragon Ball.
And Naruto.
It's
I can
not
imagine that
impossible.
being a thing. Oh, man.
God, they announced Ultimate and Goku, Luffy, and Naruto are in the game.
And plus, with what? I think 2 generations of Pokemon came out ever since Smash Ultimate. So you got to have some more Pokemon representation. Again, that's going to be a whole speculation thing as a whole for the next year.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of Pokemon, though, what do you think Pokemon Company is going to be doing with the Switch 2?
Hopefully something good. Something polished.
So, let me actually just see where are you kind of like landing on Pokemon games for the Switch, because it's definitely a controversial series.
I am burnt out, man. The only Pokemon game I enjoyed on the Switch was Let's Go Pikachu because of Pokeboomer me, okay? I gave Sword and Shield a shot. It's colorful, but I got bored quickly. Scarlet and Violet was just a unpolished mess. I do not want to do that, ever. So I want something polished. I'm not sure I want something going back to old school, whether it be like doing the Pixel HD, whatever it's called, where you have what were those games called?
Like the Octopath HD 2D.
Octopath HD 2D. That's it. Yeah, I can imagine them doing something like that, but like no, they invested so much in these 3D models, they just gotta stick with that for the most part. So who knows? Like, I want to give Pokemon another shot. I want something to like reel me back in, but Pokemon Diamond and Pearl is what got me back into the Pokemon games, and Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl is what got me out of it.
Did you ever play Legends Arceus?
I did. Didn't finish it, but I did play a good bit of it. But like, it involved a lot of grinding I didn't care about anymore. But it would be hard for me to force myself to play it. But once I play it, I'm hooked. I'm like having a good time. But I wasn't motivated to keep playing that.
I feel like I'm not a Pokemon fan. I'll make that very clear. I don't like most Pokemon games I play. For some reason, That's fair. Played every single Pokemon game that has come out on Switch. I actually do agree with you. I think Let's Go is probably my favorite still.
Yeah.
Which people fucking hate that opinion, but no,
yeah.
I don't know. Let's Go is fun, man. I liked what Legends Arceus tried to do, but I kind of fell in the same thing that it just forced you to capture the same Pokemon over and over and over. And it just wasn't
That's
fun.
why I hated it. No, then, that's what burnt me out. That's why I stopped.
And then I think Scarlet and Violet did a better open world. The issue was that it didn't work.
No.
So if they find some way to combine, like with Scarlet and Violet, if you're able to catch Pokemon in the overworld by just throwing a Pokeball like you could in Legends Arceus, then I think they're good. Just make the game run then, and then you're good. Ship it.
Like, as bored as I am with Pokemon, I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with the hardware. If they feel like innovated, because I think Scarlet and Violet's the lowest received Pokemon game ever. So I feel like they have to really step up their game, and I think they announced something that they're going to. I hope. So we'll see what happens.
Honestly, I think the issue with Pokemon Company has never been the hardware. I think if they wanted to make... I don't think the Switch is holding those games back, and I don't think going to like a PS4 level console is going to change anything with Pokemon Company. As unfortunate as it is.
I think it's funny how Pokemon is the biggest IP of all time, and yet they apparently can't make a polished game.
Yeah.
Which is their origin. Like what's supposed to like be the thing that sells everything.
Right. But in terms for Switch 2, I have a prediction.
Okay.
They aren't going to jump to Switch 2 immediately. This holiday, the Switch 2 will come out this holiday. There's going to be a new Pokemon game that doesn't come out on Switch 2. It's going to be a Switch 1 only game, which if it's backwards compatible, not a big deal. I think it's going to be a Legends Arceus game, or like a new like Legends game.
That I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that one. That one's quite the controversial one. Because I can't think of them doing anything similar to that. I know, like, when I think it was Black and White came out, I think that was like around when the DSi came out, and like I think 3DS was like around the corner at that point. So
I think in my head, I imagine this game being focused around Black and White, and they're not gonna say shit about a Black and White remake. That means. Next year, 2025, they're working on a Black and White remake for Switch 2.
It would be nice to not have 3 sets of games come out within 12 months again. That was horrible. I didn't like
Yeah.
that. That burnt me out quick.
I forgot they did that. Yeah.
Yep. I hated it.
So I think that is ideal. Though honestly, I mean, I think Pokemon Company is going to for sure announce a game in February for Pokemon Day. Honestly, though, personally, I hope they announce nothing. Because ideally, all of this stuff comes to Switch 2, and they're giving these teams more time to make the games better. Ideally, nothing gets announced. But something will. I know. Pokemon Company is just predictable.
Imagine
like
if they
that.
do mention, hey, there's a Pokemon game coming out. It's in development, but we're not going to tell you when it's coming out. For mystery hardware.
I feel like
Man,
that would be cool.
I'm actually really excited to see what's going to happen this year then.
Yeah, I think whatever the February Direct is and the Pokemon Direct ends up being will be very telling for what Nintendo's 2024 is going to look like. If, as of right now, we have, for the Switch, Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, Mario vs. Donkey Kong. Is there any other titles I'm not thinking of?
The Peach game.
Oh yeah, Peach.
Lots of Mario. But like outside of that, I don't remember anything else coming out.
I can totally see Nintendo doing something like Thousand Year Door comes out in like April, and then Luigi's Mansion is like super early summer. And then maybe there's some more games along the way that they announced that will be in the lead up to Switch 2. But I think if that Direct is very port heavy, I think we're gonna see a reveal sooner than later, for sure.
Yeah.
But for other games coming to Switch 2, honestly, Sorry, you go.
Oh, I saw a thing saying like how Nintendo is refiling their patents for like GameCube related like stuff when it comes to controllers. So people are speculating, Nintendo's Switch Online is getting GameCube, which I'm not sure of because of the amount of like ports we've gotten, whether it be a straight port of Mario Sunshine or a remaster of Metroid Prime, or what else from GameCube era has been ported over outside of Paper Mario.
I think there's not a chance Nintendo does online a GameCube, only because they know they sell. They don't have a reason to sell them or give them
that, and also the games would be too big. So imagine having that giant library and that ends up taking your whole Switch storage, which I'm pretty sure people will be okay with because it's probably what they want the most. But no, I don't see them doing a GameCube online. No way.
I guess this isn't necessarily a Switch 2 prediction, but this is just a general prediction for Nintendo in 2024. I think we are going to see 2 more GameCube collections released before Switch 2 comes out. One of them is going to be Metroid Prime 2 and 3. Okay. Similar to like how Pikmin 1 and 2 were. It's not going to be like a remaster.
Yeah.
Though that one will come later this year. What's going to come in February is going to be Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD.
It has to.
And I have actual evidence for why it's actually going to happen this time.
Okay.
On February 16th, they are reprinting the Wolf Link amiibo for no reason.
Oh.
Twilight Princess HD has a whole dungeon locked behind that Wolf Link amiibo. It would be a perfect thing to shadow drop in the next Direct.
That would be actually pretty awesome. I do like that.
We'll see. I hope. Actually, though,
I'm trying to.
Sorry, I was gonna say.
No, you go ahead.
This could actually be an interesting talking point for Zelda on Switch 2, because we have one rumor of a game that is in development for Switch 2, and that's an Ocarina of Time remake.
That would be insane.
I don't think that is coming at launch, though that would be an insane launch title. But I do think that is like holiday 2025, kind of. game.
I wonder if they're going to remaster Breath of the Wild just to have a bigger draw distance, a better frame rate, just to like try to capitalize on, hey, this new Switch is really good type of thing.
That's going to depend how Switch does, like if they do like a similar upgrade path to like what PS5 does, because that would be ideal. Like a $10 upgrade, you get the Breath of the Wild running at 60 FPS, 4K, whatever.
I'd buy it.
I would too.
Absolutely, I'd buy it.
But I don't know. They could also go the path of just having no upgrade path. You have to rebuy the entire game, and I think people would be upset about that. But I don't think Nintendo would care.
Yeah, it'd be one of those things where like I can't believe you're doing this as you're handing over your credit card.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which, okay, how do you feel about the rumor of them making 2 SKUs being physical and digital? And will you go all digital on this one?
I don't think that rumor is true, but I'll answer it first as if it is real. I will absolutely go physical. I'll always go physical if there's an option. The reason why I don't think it's real, though, is actually something I learned at my work. So we stopped putting Xbox games and PlayStation games on the floor at all. You have to go to a register and ask for them to grab it from the back.
I don't like that, but okay.
However, Nintendo games are still on the floor. And it's because Nintendo legally requires all retail stores to have their games on the floor.
Ooh. That's awesome. I like that. Yeah, I have a feeling I can agree with that. Absolutely. I'm personally concerned about what I'm gonna do because I'm out of space, man. I don't know where I'm gonna put the next generation of Switch. I'm kind of freaking out. But hey, what are you gonna do?
If the Switch 2 launches and it only has 64 gigabytes of internal storage, I'm gonna fucking lose it.
Dude, I guarantee you we're gonna get that. The most we're gonna get is 128 if we're lucky.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be like imagine if they do the Wii U thing where it's the base set at 32 or 64 gigs.
Yeah.
And then the deluxe set.
Honestly, where they need to be for this next generation, especially for third parties, is like they need to be at like 256 minimum, 512 ideally. But
that would be nice.
I don't know. I don't know if Nintendo will do it, but I do think they need to be there.
Cause like I wonder, like, are they gonna like come up with new cartridges as well? Like, are they gonna get bigger cartridges? Cause the cartridges themselves are already so expensive because Switch tax, and with some games already being so big, like there's games coming out where it's just a case and a code. That's it. Like,
yeah.
Especially from Ubisoft's side, they really love doing that.
And I'm sure Nintendo's games are going to start getting bigger and bigger. Like Tears of the Kingdom is like a 18 gigabyte game? Something like that?
Like that, yeah.
And that's already like base Switch more than half the storage.
Yeah.
So I think Nintendo themselves are definitely realizing they need to up the storage, especially, like I said, for third parties. Like whenever Call of Duty comes out on Switch too, which that's already confirmed to be happening.
Yeah.
They're
not going to compress that. It's still going to be 100 gigs.
It's like 300 now.
Get out! That is awful.
Me and my friends, we were doing like this, let's play every battle royale that's like popular and get a win in it. We did not do Warzone because it was way too big. We did not care to install that.
No way.
No
way, no how.
So either they're going to have to convince Activision to compress it, not happening.
No way.
Or they're just going to need, or everyone that buys Call of Duty on the Switch is just going to need to have a massive SD card. Which, how many people are going to want to have a giant SD card for their Switch just to play Call of Duty?
Yeah, terabyte SD cards aren't cheap yet. Like, they're getting cheaper, but they're not cheap yet.
So, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I honestly, I'm not expecting much on that standpoint. That should be an upgrade, though. I want to get back to upgrades, though, with the, like, Breath of the Wild. I think they'll also do an upgrade. If they do, If they do Breath of the Wild, they'll also do Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, guaranteed.
And
what if they do a combo pack? What if it's all on the same cartridge?
God, that would be cool. Nintendo is not that cool.
No, they're not.
Especially with Tears of the Kingdom coming out just last year.
Yeah.
I do think, though, if there is one game that they could get away with doing an actual re-release without an upgrade path, it would be Tears of the Kingdom if they put in new content.
Which I think they confirmed they're not going to.
They confirmed they're not doing DLC. They could still go back on their word and upgrade, put new content into a new version of the game.
Yeah, what if they do it like Link's Awakening and call it Tears of the Kingdom DX?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Tears of the Kingdom, it was weird when I saw that report come out because I did feel like there was stuff missing from Tears of the Kingdom. Like, there's no master mode, no harder second playthrough in that game. I feel like they definitely could put those kind of updates. There's also no like Trial of the Sword like there was in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
So I feel like that they could add stuff like that, call it like a deluxe edition, and just re-release it. And that would be one that I don't think people would complain about too much. And just have it run at 60 FPS. If you use Ultra Hand, it's not going to make the Switch run at like 5 frames a second anymore.
That would be nice.
And I think if they do like an upgrade path, I could see them like advertising that as like both of the Zelda games get it at launch and more games are coming. I put in my notes when I wrote down that prediction, I think they'll show games like, they won't show Mario Odyssey because they're focusing on the new 3D Mario, but they'll show something like Kirby's like Forgotten Land or something like that. That it will get like some kind of 4K 60 update.
I wonder if they have these updates, will they tie it to Switch Online, how they did with the DLC packs for what, Mario Kart, Animal Crossing, and what else?
Do you mean like they will be exclusive to Switch Online, like you can't get them at all?
No, I think they'll be like you can buy it, or if you have Switch Online, you get the upgrade for free.
Okay. Honestly, that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Because then you don't have to buy all these updates separately. Just pay for the yearly online, you get the updates as they come out.
Exactly.
And it keeps your current Switch library alive. It keeps it... It just... Yeah. That would honestly be a really good inclusion. I would probably like go to like whatever their expansion pass is if they do that.
But I think it'll just be part of the $50/$80 tier if it's family. I think it's just gonna be part of expansion pack in general.
Right.
I could see that.
I'm trying to think of other things that could possibly happen for like Switch year one. I don't think we're gonna see Kirby year one. I think Kirby's gonna be on the back burner.
No way. I agree.
But whatever they do, Kirby, it's probably gonna be a sequel to Forgotten Land.
I'd buy that. Like, Forgotten Land is like the first Kirby game I actually like tried and gave a crap about, and had such a good time with it.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I think it's the best Kirby game by quite a large margin.
I agree.
What else could come to Switch year one?
I don't know. Not Smash, Mario Kart, Mario. I doubt if we're getting Mario, I doubt we're getting Zelda, because there's no way they're developing both of those things at once, unless we're getting that upgraded version of Tears of the Kingdom.
I think that's like the best that we could possibly get, is that their Zelda launch title is Breath of the Wild running at 60 FPS.
Yep.
And then if that Ocarina of Time remake is real, which I think it is, that's like a 2025 title, like a late 2025 at the earliest.
I'll buy Ocarina of Time again.
I absolutely will too. And then I don't think we'll see it before the end of 2025 or even hear about it. I don't expect the next open world Zelda game to be for quite a while.
I agree. I see it like happening like halfway through the next generation of the Switch.
Yeah. I don't think they're gonna keep their mouths shut about it though. I think they are gonna do the same, reveal it super early, and then we just get kind of a lot of nothing for years. Because for some reason, Zelda's just one of those franchises that Nintendo loves to reveal super early.
Because they know people will stay hyped for it.
Exactly. So I think after Ocarina of Time Remake comes out, whenever, like 2026, something like that, then they'll be like, hey, new Zelda's in development. See ya in 2029.
No, they'll say, oh, it's 2026. Sorry, we have to delay it. For the next couple of years. But here's another Zelda port.
They'll put out Hyrule Warriors again. It'll be really happy.
Oh my Lanta. I didn't even finish Age of Calamity. I had such a good time with the first Hyrule Warriors, but for some reason I was burnt out. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I think they put out a lot of those Warrior games pretty like back to back, which actually Warriors is a good thing to talk about for Switch 2. Okay. I don't think it'll be a Zelda, and I don't think it'll be a Fire Emblem. I think they've done their like fair share of those. I think the franchise that makes the most sense to do a Warriors game next is Xenoblade.
That'd be cool. Speaking of Fire Emblem, I'm excited to have like 5 more characters for Smash for Fire Emblem.
We got a leader from Engage.
Yeah! And some other background characters just to have more sword fighters with counters.
Oh, Fire Emblem's another thing that could possibly come, but I don't think that'll be for... They just had Engage come out.
Yeah.
I think if we get another Fire Emblem recently, like anytime soon, it'll be similar to like what they did with the 3DS, that it'll be a remake that comes out for Switch 1.
I was going to say, I think it's going to be a remake of Awakening, because that was a lot of people's introduction to Fire Emblem, so people will be nostalgic of that game again.
God, that game is 11 years old. Holy shit.
Yeah! You feeling them gray hair years yet?
I realized this year that Smash 4 is going to be 10 years old, and that fucked me up.
And amiibos. Oh, man. I think it's funny how it took almost 10 years for them to complete the Smash collection.
I would love to see a remake of Awakening. That would be cool to have on modern consoles.
Oh, absolutely.
There is a big rumor that has been a big rumor for the last like 3 or 4 years that they're remaking, I think, a Super Nintendo Fire Emblem game.
Ooh,
that never came out in America.
I could see that.
But that's been like a rumor for Switch 1, so I'd imagine that's what they're doing. God, it would be cool if they did like a 3DS Fire Emblem re-release on Switch 2, though.
But what rumor was longer, that remake or Switch Pro? Because Switch Pro was a rumor since the Switch came out. And now we're finally getting it 7 years later.
You know what's funny? I actually don't know. Because that Fire Emblem remake has been rumored before like the last 2 Fire Emblem games came out.
Oh, man. Oh, that's rough, buddy.
You know, another game I think that they should bring to Switch 2. Honestly, I could see this being like one of the last Switch 1 titles, if it doesn't come to Switch 2. Where the fuck is Tomodachi Life? What are they doing on?
Oh my god, dude, I love Tomodachi Life. I actually just recently bought that, like, I think within the past year, which thankfully I did because the price on it jumped up.
No, yeah, I did too. I bought a copy like for like $20 on Mercari last year.
Ooh.
Randomly, one of my friends bought a 3DS recently, and they mentioned that they just downloaded Tomodachi Life off the eShop before it shut down. Because the prices were insane. I was like, no, I just bought this for $20. I checked it. That's holy shit.
Yeah, I got mine for probably like $30-$35, somewhere in that area.
God, it's one of those things that, like, once we finally start getting like GameCube games re-release, another console starts to just go up insanely high for like resellers.
Paul, I'm looking up the price right now. I have no idea what it's at now. Gee, cartridge alone is between $70 to $80. Are you kidding me? That's insane. No way.
And it's just because people want it so badly. People gave up on it coming to Switch, so people went back and started buying the 3DS version. It caused an increase in the market that people wanted it. Price raised. It would be
Dude, I'm so happy I got it.
It's one of those games, like, I fully believe putting Tomodachi Life on Switch would be so much easier than it was to do Miitopia. I don't know why they did Miitopia first.
I am honestly excited to see what TikTok is going to do with Tomodachi Life.
Yeah. God, I hope it doesn't become like one of those Nintendo franchises that everyone asks for that just never happens.
Do you think we'll finally get Mother 3?
No.
Nah, me neither.
I read Reggie's book last year, and he talked about Mother 3 in it. And apparently within Nintendo, there was a point in time where it almost happened. And it was when they did Earthbound Beginnings on Wii U. That was like fully an Iwata thing that he wanted to test the market, see how a new Earthbound game would do in the market. And it did really well, and Iwata was pushing for them to do Mother 3 next. Unfortunately, Iwata passed away 2 weeks later.
That's unfortunate.
They just never did it again because no one else at Nintendo wanted to push it anymore.
That's unfortunate. Like, I miss those two so much. Like, having Iwata and Reggie be at the forefront of the company, like, it made those Nintendo Directs so special, mainly because it was during the Wii U era and there was no third-party support. So Nintendo had to really push to make those Directs special. But, like, I don't know. It's just not the same anymore.
Okay, actually, here's a good thing. We're gonna go back around to 3D Mario and Mario Kart, and we'll end off the discussion on those. Because we kind of briefly talked about that we expect those to be... I just shook my camera. That we fully expect those to be year one games, at least.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what we actually expect out of those games. Let's start with the 3D Mario.
Ooh. I don't think they're going to be doing anything with Cappy again. I think that's going to be a once and done thing like Mario Sunshine with Flood.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't know what they could do with this thing. Because none of us could have predicted Cappy was a thing. So, like, what new gimmick could they push for this new Mario game? That is, if they put a gimmick with it at all. I feel like it needs to have one to make it quirky. Because, like, personally, I loved when Mario Sunshine had those 3D platforming challenges when you didn't have Flood. Personally, I just want a game full of that. But that's not going to happen. I would love a remake of Mario 64. I doubt that's going to happen, but I would love that.
Yeah. I've heard some people suggest that it could, and I do remember, I think Kit and Krista talked about this on their podcast, that it could be like a Mario and Donkey Kong 3D platformer.
Ooh.
Because
I like that. I like that.
Kong. They've been pushing Donkey Kong a lot in the last couple years. He's
especially because of the Mario movie.
Nintendo World. Yeah, Mario World, he was a big focus. Or not, Mario movie, I mean.
Yeah. I like that.
It could be somewhere in between because they've already like set the precedence in the Mario movie. Donkey Kong can use power-ups. Nothing's stopping them.
And they better bring back Banana Slamma back into the marketing.
I can't like imagine what that game could look like. If it would be like that you swap between the two, if it's a game that's fully co-op at all times.
I could see Mario and Donkey Kong game kind of being more like Mario 3D World than like Mario Odyssey. But if it's like Mario Odyssey, 100% down. I will buy 10.
Yeah, I think no matter what they do with the next 3D Mario, it needs to be more in line with Odyssey than 3D World. I love 3D World. It's a great game. They need to go in the direction of Odyssey.
Hands down. But like, I'm concerned. Like, Odyssey, like gameplay wise, like control wise, perfection for Mario.
Mhm.
So how much better is it gonna be?
I think ideally they don't change it at all. I think
Right, dude,
ideally it plays
it's
exactly
peak.
the same. I like honestly use the Odyssey engine, make anything in that, I'm good. I'm fine.
I agree.
Honestly, make Odyssey 2. I don't give a fuck. Make Odyssey 2, I'll be happy. But God, it's one of those things that I trust whatever they're doing over there to be great. I know that they looked at Odyssey, saw how successful that game was, and probably also looked at some of the criticism that people in the later years of, specifically on replayability, which I disagree with personally. I think the game is super replayable. I don't know how you feel about that, but
Apparently, I ran out of space. I can't record my face cam anymore.
ah shit. Okay, we'll wrap this up really quickly. I'll put some fucking gameplay over your webcam now and
Sure,
post.
that works.
But yeah, we're good on 3D Mario then. Mario Kart. What can they do now?
The only thing I can think of is adding costumes like they did with Mario Kart on Tour. That has to be a thing because the costumes in that game were fantastic.
Yeah, they could expand the roster in a way. Because like Mario Kart Tour's roster is insane.
Yes.
Honestly, I don't think people would like this idea. But this is the idea that I think Mario Kart could totally work within.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mario Kart lends itself to a live service game very well.
I could definitely see that. Absolutely.
Imagine if you could download the new Mario Kart for free. And you buy cups individually. And they just always have new cups coming out. They always have new characters coming out. And it's just like every year you buy the pass for that year's content of Mario Kart. And it's just always new stuff is coming.
I think a free-to-play Mario Kart would be interesting. But with how quickly Mario Kart sells, I doubt they're going to allow that to be a free-to-play game. I think they see too much money on the table just being lost. Because again, it's in the top 10 of every week.
You know, I didn't even I completely forgot about that. Yeah, no, they're not gonna. I think that it's a game that totally could work for that, but Mario Kart, yeah, you're completely right. They're gonna want to sell it just as they have. Even with that said, though, I think they are going to put a bigger focus on post-launch content on Mario Kart 9 or 10 or whatever it ends up being.
I think Mario Kart on Tour is technically 9, so I can imagine them calling this one Mario Kart X, maybe.
Right.
But even then, how many more Nintendo characters are we getting? Are we going to see people from ARMS? Are we going to see people from Fire Emblem? Like, what more representation are we going to get? Because we have Splatoon and Zelda in there.
Honestly, I've been
to be honest, I hope they don't do anymore. I think Zelda is fine, but after that, no, I'm good.
Because I don't need Super Smash Kart or anything like that. The only thing I do kind of like about it, though, is the tracks. Because, like, imagine, like, a Pikmin track, or...
That would be good.
God, even, like, a Fire Emblem track. There is a lot of potential for doing themed tracks. I think if they do that, though, leave it all for DLC.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Like, I know Kit and Krista mentioned how like they love having it so like people keep coming back to the game, whether it be the Mario sports games or now Mario Kart. So I could see them doing pretty close to the same thing.
Yeah, I will say one of the things I am most excited for is whatever the Odyssey track ends up being.
It has to be New Donk City.
New Donk would be... Oh god, imagine if it like first lap is like when it's all rainy, second lap is when like normal New Donk City. Third lap, completely different track, you go underground. And like the final like bit of that lap is going through the festival.
That would be god tier. I would love that.
I think the biggest thing that this next Mario Kart could upgrade on is if they do what they did with a lot of Tour and a lot of like Mario Kart 8's Deluxe's DLC, is that the lap changes the track changes every lap.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
If they do a big focus on that, that is the next evolution of Mario Kart for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I don't know. I can't think of much else that they could do. I think Mario Kart 8 is like still one of the best looking Switch games. And it's a Wii U
absolutely,
game.
hands down. Yeah, absolutely.
It's honestly just keep the game looking exactly the same. Just add more. Add more,
I'm down.
Do cooler
I'm
track
down.
ideas. That's all they need. Get it out in the first 6 months of the console being out. Preferably launch title. I would love it at launch. But I don't know. We'll see. Is there any final thoughts you have on the Switch 2? Any final predictions?
Just like what I said at the beginning, I just want music and themes. I want the console to feel like it has a personality. I want the thing to feel alive.
Okay. I hope that happens. I think it's still baffling it never came out on Switch 1.
Right.
With the whole like themes folder as well.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Is there anything else I have?
Price point. What do you think the price is going to be?
Oh yeah, that's a good thing to end on. I think $399.
Yeah, there's no way they can go over $400 with this thing because, like, Nintendo loves to be around the $300 range. To be honest, the OLED being $350 is actually like insane that they went that high because they haven't gone that high since the Wii U launch. So who knows? We'll see what happens.
I feel like the OLED might have been like testing the waters to see if people were willing to spend $350 on a Switch.
Right.
And I don't know if they have like shared like how much of like the numbers are OLED sales in recent years.
Right.
But I don't know. If the OLED is selling well, I think they'll be more comfortable doing like a $400 console, but I don't see it being $300.
Right. Yeah, $300's too cheap. But like, I wonder, like, will they try to stay closer to $350 rather than $400? I think $400 is a nice round number, but I feel like that might be a little too high for a Nintendo console. But who knows?
Yeah. We will just have to wait and see.
Right.
So yeah, hopefully we get some Switch 2 information in the next couple of months. I pray that you're wrong on it being in August. That would be a painful
Right.
6 months wait. 6 months, no, it's more like 7 or 8. God damn. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next one.